Here's some good news for you. The STI gonorrhea is growing increasingly resistant to antibiotics and in some forms might be literally impossible to cure. The WHO did an analysis of literally dozens of countries and found that resistance to antibiotics, the commonly used ones and even the ones used in emergencies, is going up. But don't worry about that. That's not the important thing. Doctors in Japan, Spain, and France have reported individual cases in which they were unable to cure it, like using any of the antibiotics that they have, even the rare ones, the ones that are for emergencies. Nothing. It didn't matter. It's still there. And this is not a small thing. An estimated 78 million people a year are infected with gonorrhea. Jesus, that is a lot. If you aren't familiar with this, you're welcome. But symptoms can include a thick green or yellow discharge from sexual organs, pain when urinating, and bleeding during periods. This is not something that you want. You can avoid it, thankfully, by using protection during sex. But this is an issue, and it can manifest in a couple of particularly dangerous ways. Gonorrhea can infect the genitals, rectum, and throat, but it can be more dangerous in certain of those. So theoretically, when it gets in the throat and people take antibiotics, it's sort of a harboring spot for resistance to grow, and there it can sort of become stronger and stronger. They worded it this way at the BBC: thrusting gonorrhea bacteria into this environment through oral sex can lead to super gonorrhea. And so that is why oral sex in particular can lead to the worst kinds of gonorrhea right now.
Thrusting the gonorrhea bacteria?
Mm-hmm. Curious choice of words.
When you grow up, you'll understand.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's a curious choice of words. I think they literally mean what you think they mean. But yeah, this is a huge problem. I mean, there are STIs that are worse objectively. There are ones that will literally kill you, drive you insane, and things like that. But this is not a good thing for people to have. And this is not the only STI or the only infection or disease that has this sort of looming threat of antibiotic resistance. The way that we approach antibiotics as a species is fundamentally flawed. It has been for a long time, and it theoretically will take a massive toll in human lives if we don't correct it in the future.
You mean because it's used way too liberally?
Exactly, for things that it doesn't need to. And we are developing new antibiotics. Theoretically, we can, although it's becoming harder and harder, slower and slower, rarer and rarer. But gonorrhea in particular, it can overcome all of that. We are not able to right now to come up with one that's going to kill all strains permanently. And in diseases that are even more deadly, like, we need to address this. This is not something that's sexy to talk about, especially with the discharge, but it is something that's important for human civilization.
No, as I was reading this, guys, it sounded like the beginning of an apocalyptic movie. Mm-hmm. Where scientists are warning that we have, quote, a relentless march towards untreatable status. And they give warnings like 66% of reporting countries say one particular strand of gonorrhea that is normally treated with, I think, an injection is not responding anymore, okay, to treatment. Yeah, 81% of reporting countries say that the other strain has now become resistant and not responding anymore. And then you get the reports from Japan, France, et cetera, saying there's no treatment left. And luckily, though, it only affects the genitals, rectum, and throat, right?
Don't need those.
Right. And
I just want cushy diapers. I wonder if you can't die from it, then what's the worst that can happen? And when we make this film, will we cast Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling? Will they be paid equally?
Will they produce equal discharge?
Exactly.
Okay. That's my question.
And so then they get into.
Sorry, I'm going with you on the apocalyptic thing here.
Yes, because then the next part of the movie is they're like, oh, by the way, can't you see the scientists rushing in the movie, right? Like, it is now called super gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Right. And then of course in the next part of the movie is what John is alluding to, which is it's no longer just in the throat, rectum, and genitals. Now we can't treat other diseases that are spreading all over the world and all over and by the way, most of the countries are not even reporting in. The poor countries are not reporting in, and the situation is probably more dire in the poor countries. So as we overuse the antibiotics, we become very susceptible to all kinds of diseases. And so that disaster is also looming out there. Super gonorrhea, just the beginning, just an appetizer. Watch the Young Turks commercial-free, download it or stream it, watch it any way you like at tytnetwork.com/join.